Notes: I am posting this review in 2016, more than 4 years after its release. That is why I am avoiding words like pros and cons. My primary camera is Olympus OM-D EM1. I have purchased this one as a pocketable sub-camera by pairing it with Panasonic 20mm f/1.7. I have used GF2 and GF3 as a sub-camera before but sold them. Summary: if you are coming from post-2014 models with greater than 900K dot screens, things such as the lower resolution, 230K dot, lower brightness, and otherwise there are things that would make you happy or even surprise you, such as ergonomics. Overall, I am very satisfied with what I got for the price I paid, $100. Below are my short list of things you should consider if you are thinking about purchasing this as a sub-camera to your more modern camera body. Things that may disappoint you: 1. Lower screen resolution, 230K dots, and lower screen brightness. Also, the screen coating can delaminate too. Screen is non-tiltable. 3. ISO auto is not supported in manual mode, i.e. you cannot set aperture and shutter speed for creative effects, then let the camera decide on best possible ISO. ISO auto is available only in A, S, and P4. Menu system does not offer pop-up help, meaning you may have to consult with user manual from time to time. 5. Settings have peculiar dependencies where some items get grayed out. Corresponding error messages are vague as well. 6. 4 buttons around the D-pad are flat against the surface and difficult to push as they are made of metal, things that may surprise you. 1. Very solid construction too. Well-shaped rubber grip offering surprisingly good handling. 3. Clever engineering that provides high degree of controls with less buttons and dials, push toggle for the rear dial and touch side panel that stores 4 F-in buttons. 4. Focus magnification, although no focus peaking, flexible AF. This was new to me coming from Olympus. Conclusion: good sub-camera even in 2016. There are a few shortfalls but a solid performer nonetheless for $. If you don't have a lot of money but you want a good camera, do yourself a favor. Get one. I cut my teeth on old Leicas that I inherited when I was a kid. They were old then, but I loved them. I have done semi-pro photography, i.e., weddings, press photography, advertising, all on the side and not as my sole source of income. So I know cameras. I bought 2 other Lumix cameras in the past, a small point and shoot with a Leica lens built in that I bought in Peru when I left my camera in a cab, and the TS2 waterproof. Both served me well except the one I got in Peru, the screen went out. I always suspected maybe it was a grey market camera. What I love about Lumix is the availability of Leica lenses, and I am a die-hard fan of Leica. I really wanted a Leica M8 but I don't have $8,000 to drop for one. The DX1 offers Leica lenses and has the old-school rangefinder styling. I was looking for a camera to carry on long backpack trips. After hiking the Camino de Santiago carrying a Nikon D80, I was wishing for something more portable. Everything I read about the DX1 was good, so I got one, expecting that it would be a backup for the DSLR and also for long hiking trips where I needed a quality compact. Well, I believe the DX1 is going to be my first choice now, and the Nikon will actually be the backup. First off, it's a micro Four Thirds camera, so those posting about the image quality need to sit down. It's not a full-frame DSLR. I am betting that one day soon there will be a full-frame mirrorless, and when that day comes I will ditch DSLRs for good. The technology these days with live LCD viewfinders is good enough now to replace the cumbersome mirror. However, back to my first statement on image quality, it appears with the first few test shots that the image quality is just about as good and in some cases better than my D80 with 18-55. Compared to the 14-42 shooting a picture of the box the camera came in with both cameras and then enlarging it, I found the Nikon picture to be slightly less sharp. I am not ready to conclude that statement before I take more tests, but given that I was expecting the Nikon to be way more sharp, I was very pleased with this first test. What I love is the old school rangefinder look and feel when shooting. It's just a doggone sexy camera. If you want a small camera that has big camera features and quality, this is the camera for you. I couldn't think of a better backpacking/travel camera other than maybe a Leica, which is way out of the price range. I have the 14-42 lens now, but I ordered a 45-200 as soon as I got the camera. That lens has not yet arrived. I also went on eBay and bought the 14-45 lens, which is supposed to be much better than the 14-42. Without yet testing that lens, I can tell you already I see why they say don't get the 14-42. Get the body only, then buy the 14-45 lens. The 14-42 has horrible vignetting at widest setting, 14mm. There is also some light aberration showing around the edges of objects. However, I am giving 5 stars to the camera because it's awesome. The 14-42 isn't the greatest lens. I was amazed by the OIS. I shot a handheld shot at 1 full second and it was almost perfect. There was the slightest bit of blur when enlarged. That blew me away. Note I have a knack for handheld shots, having for years done available light photography. Most people probably can't hold the camera steady at that speed. Still, I could see the average Joe shooting at 130 with no shake with the OIS. Suddenly the f:3, 5-5, 6 doesn't seem so bad since I can handhold longer exposures. With the Nikon 18-200 VR lens at wide zoom, I can handhold down to about 1/15 of a second without noticeable shake. With the Lumix I would say I can go one more click. The horizon line option in the viewfinder is awesome. As said above, I have a knack for hand-holding long exposures, but I suck at getting the horizon straight. The horizon line level is easy to use and doesn't take up much of the screen, so I leave it on all the time. One click of a button and it goes away if you don't like it. The video is very impressive. I am not much of a video guy, but I did some test shots and they are clear, crisp, and have excellent color. I did find that the focus went blurry when I was filming a guy kiteboarding and tried to go from the kiteboarder to the kite. It seemed like it hunted for focus before going to infinity when I went for the shot of the sky with just the kite. Not a huge deal, but worth mentioning. There are 3 different focus settings. One stays put where you focus it, one is an active focus, and one apparently continuously adjusts focus. I have not figured out yet the difference between the last 2. I did a test with a pool ball, rolling it slowly on the pool table, and the focus was a little slow at tracking it in video mode. However, in still mode where you click the shutter lightly to focus, it focused instantly. I mean a fraction of a second from close-up to infinity. I love that there are options for different scene modes so my wife can play around with those, as she doesn't get the whole f-stop thing, but she can set it for sunset or portrait or other modes and let the camera do that for her. For me, I can set it for aperture priority, shutter priority, photogram, or if I want to just point and shoot, there is a convenient intelligent auto button. The yaw works great, and I like that the button lights up blue to remind me that it is on. The flash is not terrible, and I like that it pops up so it can aim over the lens, but you do have to remove the lens shade or it casts a shadow in the picture. Click link in description for more reviews.